Everyone, it's the Dorks, and we're back playing the Greatest Journey Adventures. We have to call in Mr. Eggert Benedict, which is not his name.
Oh yeah, we're practicing so we can see you guys if y'all ever try to pull one over on us.
That's right.
Ah, Gina, how are you holding up?
Mm,
I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now.
Jenny, are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me? What? Well, you saw it? That picture?
What picture?
You mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure.
Yeah, that doesn't help at all.
Not really. It's hopeless. Anyone sees that's gonna think I did it, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court.
Surely you've gotta have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. No, we're more sure than ever you didn't do it.
Yeah, you're saying too much trying to convince us.
That's
Of
right.
course I can.
Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? I mean, it would help us out quite a bit.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Reno's definitely managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear it from you. Alright then. It was after we had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, I remember.
Back when Mr. Sato was with us. After
Oh,
that,
yeah.
I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped down and went down the street to the 2-to-1, the Windibank's place. I had to know.
If Iris's story was there or not. The Hound of the Baskervilles.
I don't know what it's about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why he lied to Iris about sticking it in lug with Windibank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time.
So you broke into Windibank's?
I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was gonna kick off, did I?
I mean, not really.
I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there. So I gave the old lamp on the counter a bit of wick. And that's when... What do you think you're doing? Ah! I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I'd grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving in the air like... I don't know what. You're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think the pickpockets were in for armed robbery. The mantle script. Have you got it here? Did Sholmes leave a little papers with you? A story. I beg your pardon? The Hound of the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see its ear, that's all. Oh, you want to see it, do you? I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see and I'll go. Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. So in the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there alright. The mantle script. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of the shop.
Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes.
What was that noise? Someone's breaking in! Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about? I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry. I better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back? Oh, well, I'll come with you and... Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
Oh, okay.
Ah. And with that, he took the gun out of me hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? So I was just about to go out the storeroom myself, when... 2 shots.
Snap. Oh.
I had a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was. Right at me feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windmake might come for you?
Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Winterbank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing. Huh.
Ah, passed out.
But...
Okay. That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old code might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did. They didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. It'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Rita's about to put the real culprit through the mill. Yeah, grinding mill.
Eesh.
That cove what was there in the afternoon? That Edgar Benedict. I still remember how he looked at me. Like I was nothing. He was there that night.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah.
We don't know his real name yet. But I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what? You can leave it all in Reno's capable hands now, Jenny. Mr. Nada Odo.
Yes?
How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded, we told you a whole pack of lies. I mean, you didn't have any real choice in the matter.
Yeah, you kind of just had to go along with it.
And he got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer.
No, I could never forget that.
Oh.
I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of the air of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
But what if I'm lying? He could be working to get another killer off the hook for all you know.
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial.
You what?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. As strange as it might sound, The circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Runo.
There was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. My best friend.
Ryunosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me, and I'll do the rest.
I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me, not completely. But I was wrong. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry, I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diver? And a no-good liar?
You're not like McGilded, and I know that.
Huh? That's right! You're our friend, Jenny. Iris.
We know you better than you think. We come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Yes.
That's really all we need to know.
Exactly. Mr. Naruto, I... Defendant Gina Lestrade and her legal representative. Court proceedings are about to resume. Get your butts in there.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you.
And probably the rest of you too.
Oh, dang. I've been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. And I also knew...
It's playing Cosmo's theme right now.
Yeah. That's how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too. Partner. Yeah, I like how they bring up like Cosmo's theme in that one too.
Yeah.
Gives me chills. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Von Zykes, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness?
The subpoena was delivered to the communication station. The man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem.
I see. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson, Priestess?
Yeah.
Priestess, yeah. Priestess of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I'm I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom.
It's a big
Right.
mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake. My lord, the subpoenaed witness has just arrived in the building.
Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Egbert Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon, and certainly not like this. He still has to be up there in the stand, jeez.
Yep.
Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice.
But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communication Station. Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about. You were apprised... you were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume? Yes, I was. Something to do with the murder that took place at a pawnbroker's on Baker Street.
That voice you're using sounds familiar.
And really?
I don't know where. I can't place it. I feel like I've heard someone like from a cartoon use that exact same voice.
I mean, maybe.
I can't remember that.
At first, I was kind of doing whatever, but I realized I was pulling from... Have you watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged by Lil Karibo?
Oh, I have not seen it.
Oh, well, one of his character voices for, like, a really evil character has a very similar sounding voice. At least in my head, it sounds similar. And so I'm just kind of pulling from that, but I don't know what you're thinking of necessarily. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question. That is the accusation, indeed. This really is beyond a joke, you know.
Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place of the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. What? What is this word? Some sacramouth detective's homebrew tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. Was that even a word?
Yeah, well, screw you too. We have no idea. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you?
Of course I do. I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld.
He doesn't even like it. Jeez.
Then we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly!
Jeez.
How long am I expected to be detained here?
If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least. I do love me some
Does
tea.
that hold up, Miss... Ooh, I love tea and crumpets as well. But it gets in my beard. Anyway, let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Egbert Benedict.
Who?
Oh, or is it Mr. Graydon?
My apologies. You are...
Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met.
At gunpoint? If you say so. Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So... I trust we can conclude this quickly.
But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do.
Tell me, have you heard of Hamon before?
Hamon? Nani?
Alright, let's see. There's something... Yeah, so... We need to press this statement. Something about it we need information from.
Okay. Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholm's chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such.
But I'm not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants.
Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholm's chemical is
Spare me
able to
the
determine
science lesson.
Frick! Alright, fine.
Who is this Sholmes character, anyway?
Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a great, well-renowned detective.
So, even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say? Now in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Excuse me. Do you have something to add about that, Mr. Skulkin?
What? Me? No, wrong one.
No, not you, Mario. I mean Luigi. Next to you.
Right, I've had to hear with this. How many times have I gotta tell you?
Yes, I know. You're not Big Bruv Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Happy now? Hey, cool, blimey, mate. You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Me thoughts? I don't have none of them. It must have been him.
You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin. Answer the question, please. I almost said something else.
What?
Answer the darn question. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Excuse me. Hey, Patu. Something seemed off there. What were you going to say?
No. It's fine. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. Honest, Gov, nothing. I was thinking, if he waves his arm around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again. That's all.
Wound?
What wound? Oh, he just said. Where he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. It ain't gonna be healed up yet.
Eh?
So I was, well, you know, I was worried for him, and...
2 days ago? So he was shot a day before we met him.
That's weird. Oh, Ails Bales! Mr. Graydon, did you hear that?
What?
Your comrade's worried about you, it seems. Aren't you gonna say thanks? On account of your injured arm?
My lord.
Yes, Mr. Graydon.
I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless insinuations.
We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago.
Oh, the crime happened 2 nights ago. My days are off. Whoops.
Oh, because I kind of thought
All
it
right,
was
because
like
we investigated
just
Gina
last-
the day after, and then court was the day after that. Right.
Right, yeah, okay. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts. Perhaps you allow the court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if in pain.
No, I refuse. What? You're basically just admitting you show no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy.
Okay.
As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery.
My lord, the defense will like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Oh, sorry about the car, guys. Anyway, angry.
Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
Alright, we now have a new statement. The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was That is very fake.
That is borscht. Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident.
Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study.
No, you were there to redeem an article.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, Gregson was there too.
I mean, he can attest to it. Do you have something to add, Inspector?
Come again, Sunshine.
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon?
Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbroker's afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall.
And at that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article.
Well now... I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
What? But you must!
I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't.
But you're doing it right now! What's going on here?
Gregsy showed us the picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Winterbanks.
Yes, of course.
Indeed, and the gentleman picture bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
Exactly! Which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question.
We don't know that picture, do we? Nope, we don't.
Oh, okay. That's still weird. Why are you denying that you don't know what I mean?
At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more.
This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover up his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's gonna say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Bruno?
I think he has no intentions of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
The complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prise a little more information from these witnesses' lips. All thanks to the Skulkin brothers.
Yes, they were the key to it after all.
So he says he has nothing to do with Winterbanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time. to have a proper look through the court record.
Good idea. You never know what tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon.
Alright, let's see. Okay, we must now present something that proves that he had something to do with the establishment.
We present something?
Mm-hmm. We have the thing.
Oh, do we mean the disc? Or is it
I don't know,
something else?
do you mean the disc? Is that what it is?
I mean,
Tell me.
that's the only thing. I mean, that's the only thing that made Gregson jump, and it's the only thing that Mr. Graydon wanted.
Objection!
You ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon?
Why? Is it supposed to mean something?
This disc, until the day of his murder, is in pawn in Mr. Winterbank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. That somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon?
As I have reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. That was obviously Eggert Benedict. That is not my name. I've never seen that disc before in my life.
It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc.
Ah, yes, resulting from the abrasion of the thumb, perhaps?
That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered a minor injury. So, while the disc bears to the remnants of the skirmish in the form of a smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also in the form of a scratch.
Good gracious, indeed it must.
Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow the court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on this disc.
Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you.
What is the meaning of this?
So you admit it now. You admit that you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant?
Order! Order! Well, Mr. Graydon?
It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. No, quite the reverse.
What are you trying to say?
It's really quite simple, you'll see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own out of pawn?
What?
It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now. As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder.
You sure? Okay.
There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGilded, but the item belongs to me." The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop, in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night.
Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist? who perished in the very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of the distinctly messy murder. He roasted like fine barbecue.
Yes, my lord. The one and the same.
Good lord, Mr. Graydon! Are you saying that Mr. McGildet and yourself were acquainted?
Yes, that's correct.
But I don't understand. It's weird.
Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again.
According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in the pawn on the fateful night 2 months ago. Mr. McGildet himself gave instructions to deposit it at Windibanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windibanks in order to get his hands on McGildet's disc for some reason.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.
Okay. Let's see. We need to press this statement.
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it?
That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGildet
Is that right?
as evidence.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Inspector?
What do you mean?
The last remark Mr. Graydon made at his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way.
No. No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Are you socially inept? Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGildet's possessions?
I can't tell you something like that, sunshine! What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly! You should know all about that! Magnus McGildet, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago. A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he had a dark side, too. Where are you going with this, Von Zykes? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough! Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume. The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first.
What's all this about? It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Von Sykes here.
Well, it would appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony.
Gladly, my lord.
Okay. And now there is something at statement 5. Shoot. I didn't realize it was auto going to 5. My bad. Yeah, okay, yeah, thanks. Disregard this, but there's something at statement 5 that he's saying that we need to do something about. Oh, there's so much. I pressed the wrong button once. No, I just wasn't paying enough attention, really.
I mean,
Okay.
most of the times we gotta go press it anyway, so it's kinda...
Okay. So, It is here at Statement 5. He's saying there's no reason to break into the shop that same night. But there is something that we do have.
There is?
It's this. The
Oh.
box. We never saw the box. And
That is
it was... Huh. So, he needed that.
Objection!
Excuse me.
This disc was deposited at Winterbanks on Magnus McGilda's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection!
Conjecture again. And in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbrokery again that night.
Objection!
I objection your objection.
Yeah, well... No.
Yeah, well, no, Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true.
What?
Mr. McGilda had another article and pawn at Winterbanks. As this second pawnbroker ticket proves,
Ah!
there were two articles belonging to Mr. McGilda in Winterbanks' pawnbrokery. And the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your two accomplices, the Skulkin brothers.
Ah!
The second ticket, is it?
Why did the man deposited?
The article description reads, one small box.
A rather vague description, it seems to me.
Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbrokery of these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? Don't look away from me!
Hey, we're not crowns, Gov.
We ain't, Gov, we
I
ain't.
believe.
I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did.
This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article had been forfeited, I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There'd be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft.
Huh.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
It
that's
is a good point, actually.
Indeed. The witness makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Graydon fellow needs this small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
Oh,
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
would you be a little less cryptic, Lord Ponsykes?
No,
It's scary.
I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Winterbank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it.
What?
Good gracious!
Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir!
What prints?
These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras. Ah, Hurley's red hand recorders again. As previously explained, using this plan of the shop layout, the victim's establishment was furnished with automatic cameras in two locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Winterbank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed or for sale once forfeited. According to the information on this ticket, Mr. McGilda's small box has been forfeited already.
It's hard to say McGilda without saying Mr.
Yeah. 2 days for the incident, at 9 PM on 13th April to be precise. Which means they would have been on the shelves of forfeited items in the shop in front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. And that's at 11 PM on 15th April. Could it be that one?
Oh, that does count as a box, though.
Yeah?
The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear.
And then here we have another print. Well, it's still there.
Yeah.
This one was taken about 2 hours after the incident.
I see. So we have two pictures to compare.
Okay, let's see. What is different
Oh.
here?
Hmm.
Box. That's there. That everything is as it seems. Candelabras, stuff, books. October, those boxes are there. Books, plate. The horse, the boxes next to the horse. Those are the same. The sign.
There's a
is
sign. Okay.
The same. The time! It's obviously different!
What? No! How can this be?
Dang, that does
Hey,
look the
look!
same.
It's a statue of the thinker!
Oh,
Right next to the
yeah.
medal. That would be a thing for a while that we have to deal with. I'm not... Man, okay. Well, I can't really see anything that's different.
Me neither.
Like, everything seems like it's not even shifted either.
Yeah.
Dear me, this is starting to make my head ache.
Obviously, at Scotland Yard we consider theft as one possible move in the case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life.
So your men have already compared the two prints thoroughly, Inspector.
Yes, sir.
I don't see anything.
Nothing seems amiss to me either. Like, just looking at a general overview here, not zooming in, everything seems like it's fine, right?
It actually does, because I'm looking back and forth as well. I don't see any
I found
changes.
Wait, where?
Okay, so look next to the box, the giant, photograph box, and you see how there's
Okay.
like, I mean, it's hard, but in the center of the screen, you see this box here in front of a
Okay.
picture frame, right?
Alright.
Okay, look at it now.
Oh, it's been moved.
It has.
Oh, okay.
That one took. I actually saw it just like on a zoom out. I'm like, wait a second, something is off. We count every single item in each of these two photographic prints. And the yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present. But well, yeah, that is true.
True, but it's been moved though, so
In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker in the night in question. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than hopeful fantasy. And hopefully the final one at that.
I don't believe it. How do you know about my Final Fantasy collection? If I
Ew,
could,
nerd.
if I could have just shown that he stole McGildet's pawn box.
Pose.
I might have been able to break him down at last.
You know what, Bruno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same. They're not!
What?
So, counsel, in light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that in fact on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion?
I don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these two photographic prints somewhere?
We can
Yeah.
point out the discrepancy. We're so good at this, we can just put our finger on it.
Yep.
We can finger the evidence right here, and they're like, whoa!
I wasn't sure at first, but there was a clear discrepancy between these two prints.
What?
You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. They're too stupid to see it.
Well, more or less, it's hard to find at first.
Okay, well, I'll give it that. It is kind of hard to find.
Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak.
Alright, now I don't know,
Yeah.
like, if it wants to go over to the left or to the right, but... Okay, it doesn't matter which photo. Okay, good.
Okay. Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there is one minor discrepancy between them.
What?
We view the two pictures stereoscopically.
Yep, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that is McGilded's box.
Must be.
Wait, I can do better. I can zoom in further.
My zoom in is better. And a single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box.
Let me... Wait. Unbelievable!
Oh, by Jove, you're right! How extraordinary! My eyes hurt. Ouch! What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilded's small box was indeed not stolen from Windibanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Mr. McGilded is in fact... Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Objection!
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf, nothing was stolen. Which means quite simply, that nothing has changed.
That may be true, but... Alright, McGilded's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things? It changes everything. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, somebody had to have just picked it up just to examine it then.
I mean, of course it changes everything.
Yeah.
What if there was something inside the small box?
Oh yeah, that's true. Could have hidden something in there. I believe this changes everything about the case.
How can that possibly be?
The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we ought to consider what might have been inside that box.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Windibanks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Von Sykes.
It doesn't what?
Doesn't uphold it. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination. Jeez, all this over a box.
You suck, you suck, you suck, you suck. Head empty,
just
no
wants to-
thoughts.
Only pose.
Pose, pose, pose.
More like
This
a
was awkward to
poser.
sit through. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing.
I beg your pardon, Lord Van Sykes.
Yes, beg. This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, it would seem.
What are you trying to say?
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness' intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us
that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property.
Has no one considered there be something inside of a box?
Yeah, everyone just keeps dancing around that fact. It's like, what if there was money in there? What if there was like a plot to some land or something like that? But no.
If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded passed 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of its trial, which I may or may not have fired him for.
He used, what do you call it? A Firaga.
No, I use Firaza. Gotta go as high up as I possibly can.
Yeah, he just hated him so much he had to use the strongest spell on
I'll use
one
Zeta
mortal.
Flare, that'll get him.
Oh, sheesh.
A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense. I don't think he likes us for what happened.
Dude, I didn't give any evidence for that either. I was still sad about it.
The articles his upstanding member of society pawned was entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, in a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
What if the box itself... What if there's something else going on with it? Like, there's something inside it's not a normal box, but it doesn't contain things like you would put in a box normally. I'm starting to think I know what it is. And why maybe he couldn't steal it because he couldn't use the box.
Oh. You think it's because, like, maybe it could have played the disc or something?
I think it's a music box. Yeah.
That would make sense because he said, like, no other music box in there could have played it. And it's only, like, built for one. See,
without the disc, he can't even use it.
Yeah,
it's starting to come together a little bit. Not entirely, I'm still kind of lost.
Yeah, I'm still kind of, like, trying to think about, like, what's happening with that as well. The prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling.
Of course it is. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. Screw this chalice. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have.
How many of those do you have?
As many as I need.
Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to this case? Well,
What's the matter, Reno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGill's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that McGill's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake.
I mean,
technically, we didn't want to end the court case, like, anyway, but they said, like, they really didn't want to go on because it's like, well, it seems like he was telling the truth. Or they just had to go with his plea for not guilty, I guess. I don't know. See, that the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury.
But Ginny...
Could it be that Von Sykes knows?
Of course he knows.
He's smart. Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything?
Sorry, but I'm 2 steps ahead of you. Jotaro. But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Reno? Objection?
Hold it?
Take that.
Excuse me.
Yes! Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Alright, the exact significance of these things that McGilded disposited with Mr. Windibank is something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here? We probably should go ahead and take that gamble then, because we really don't have anything else to do. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh? What proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand.
I have a question. Are you really close to your mic right now?
Yeah, I'm pretty close. It's kind of clamped back here.
Okay, you're good. I was like, you sound a bit louder than normal.
Yeah, at the shift positions it is. Also, I think I might have turned up the echo effect just a small bit. Let me turn that back down. Am I still loud?
You're fine.
Okay. Let's see. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles disposited at Windibanks by Mr. McGilded, my lord. Miss Lestrade has information relating to them.
And she's like, I do?
Yeah, you sure do. I believe it would be beneficial to the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question once and for all.
Well, well. Things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, the impact it'll have on the accused standing, and indeed your own.
I have. Lord Van Zykes, would you care to explain that last remark?
No.
You better.
The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal. I move to interrupt a cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself.
This almost sounds like a game of chess.
It basically is.
Jeez. Very well, if you have no objection.
Not yet.
So, the court will now hear the testimony of that defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Your witnesses currently in the stand may step down until further notice.
Then I shall bid you good day. That was weird, I have no hat on. That felt awkward.
Wait. You, sir, shall remain the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies.
As you wish.
Alright then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here.
Good luck, Reno.
Yeah, definitely gonna need it. The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Windibank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. And that's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded.
The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here we all are again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more.
Except for Egghead here.
Well, he'll be a stand-in for McGilded, I suppose. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend.
Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder, because he did it. But as trial progressed, another possibility emerged. That the murder, in fact, took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck. with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under the seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGildet died in this very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
I guess his case went up in flames, huh?
I guess you could say it all went up in smoke.
Dude, our joke's on fire right now.
We're sizzling.
Dude, that's hot. That's
Smoking.
a mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. As indeed does the omnibus murder itself.
Be that as it may, I recall neither the disc nor the small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings.
It's true.
Miss Lestrade. Come on, work with me here. Would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean?
I know what you mean. I already said all of what I know.
What about everything you told us yesterday from inside the prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade, this is extremely important.
But... Remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts, you have little credibility to lose.
God. Jeez.
Jenny, don't listen to him. He's just a big meanie. Nuh-uh. Please, you have to trust Reno now. Iris, we're on your side.
Wait, hold on. Who are you calling a meanie?
All right then, I'll talk.
That's the right choice, Gina.
Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it.
I must confess that I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilder's pawned articles and that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbor secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. Tell the truth or I won't give you no presents this year. This is it then. Everything's going to come out. Like Von Sykes said, this could bring the whole courtroom down on about my ears, but as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. Oof, oof, oof.
Before we do that,
Oof. Ooh, boy.
Okay.
I'm nervous, guys.
Truth is, that Breadmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over me Ed, and the pair that roof deck were off to call the slops. That's why I call cops the slops. That's when McGill had slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Good grief, this is outrageous! What you just told the court bears almost no resemblance to a testimony 2 months ago.
How do you remember there, Santa?
Santa always remembers.
It's true. As you say, my lord.
Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in McGilder's trial. I mean, he was still put to death, but sheesh. It sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes.
No, what a surprise. Of course he did. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. Nipponese.
I heard that.
You better. The actions of the accused in that trial of the witness and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable.
I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce? It was all lies? Let me go if I was rotten to the core, just like that pickpocket. Don't forget that lawyer from the east. They were all in it together. You're wrong, the lot of you. Mr. Nara-Odo, the lawyer, though, he didn't know nothing about it.
Humbug!
I don't think so. Are we really expected to believe that?
He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation to get the man off scot-free.
Unforgivable. Stop. The lies have to stop. Stop.
Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I tend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate.
How about death?
However... Oh, well, I mean, I guess so.
Oh, alright then, cool.
We consider it seppuku, or however we say
What,
it.
kill yourself with your own blade?
I mean, that's what we do.
God,
It's the only
like,
honorable
you better
way to
not
die.
with my soul.
Oh, hey, maybe we'll get transferred and then we'll turn into a whole different being, like fusion or something. I don't know.
He just turned to frickin' Phoenix, right? Like, huh,
Like-
you don't look all that different, but something about you's different.
It's like, yeah, something about that hair.
You look awfully
Oh, shoot.
two-dimensional for being in a 3D game.
Like turns around, he's like a thin piece of paper. Like, what are you talking about?
It's imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGilder's pawn articles must be brought to light.
Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of calamity you have just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord.
I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial.
Of course, my lord.
Blimey, Mr. Nara-Odo.
Now, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
I hate everything about this. Yes.
Alright, so... we have to press... do you see something going on here to her right?
Yeah, why are you turned around?
Hold it!
You were hiding in the cabinet in time as well, weren't you, Miss Lestrade? If I remember right, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats?
Hey, guys?
What are y'all talking about? Hey! Turn the frick around! Is there something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon? Inspector! Mr. Graydon!
Ah! Blimey, you trying to give me a heart attack?
You have been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about?
Discussion? With this fella? Pull the other one, sunshine! You think I've got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this? And I had nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. We weren't talking at all.
But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating.
You will kindly refrain from talking amongst yourselves while the witness is giving testimony.
Yes, sorry, my lord.
What were those two talking about? Zykes, did you hear that?
I heard nothing.
Darn.
Now we must press every statement of hers.
Okay.
Which, let's go ahead and get the information that she was trying to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all.
Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claimed Mr. McGilder was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me I had to say.
But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilder and the victim acquaintances?
I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot.
What were they talking about?
Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about some money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
Well, I mean, he is a loan shark, I hear.
It's true. Well, he was.
Well,
Anyway,
yeah.
they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
And I believe he let out an involuntary scream.
Yeah, that's what gave me away.
Hmm.
Hold it!
When the... Oh, was the disc you saw this disc?
Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but McGilda picked up pretty smartish. And then he set the cove with the knife in his belly upon the seat.
What did he say to you at that time?
He told me not to say a word about what I had seen or heard to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'd get stuck with that knife too.
You probably would've.
Yeah.
Then he started asking me a load of questions. What my name was and where I lived and all that. He asked me about being a diver too.
But after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed?
Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise.
Hold it!
There were 2 gentlemen occupying the seats of the roof deck, I believe.
That's right. They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. Then when they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGilda got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the 2 coves from the roof ran up to fetch the slops.
Yet they immediately left to fetch the police. It would appear they were entirely unrelated to the incident.
So that left McGilda, the driver, and you still at the scene.
Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was up there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside.
The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe.
Yep, Beppo.
Good old Bep. He's always so cold. Went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves.
Man, he does know everything. That was 2 months ago.
Yeah. What did McGilda and the driver say to each other?
I know what happened and stuff like that mainly.
Hold it!
That pawn shop obviously being Winterbanks on Baker Street. Almost called it Barker Street again. Jeez.
Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me the driver gave false testimony in that trial as well?
The entire thing was a mess!
It's all a lie.
Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind while he was in the stand.
Indeed, Lord Van Zykes.
McGillen took off his coat and gave it to the driver. He folded it up, all careful like, before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in it has got to be worth a few bob.
Yes, Gina was sure that this was to be worth
more than Mr. Winterbank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when McGilded flashed some brass in his face. He went running off at a lick. And the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the drag's cabin.
Hold it!
Threaten you how exactly?
Told me I'd only be able to scarper if I did exactly what he said.
Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said.
Which was?
He told me I'd have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Well, I never.
Said if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me before 2 months passed, I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in lug, to stop it being forfeited. He left me with some brass to pay for it.
But really? Why on earth would Mr. McGill have done such a thing?
We don't know yet.
Disposing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police. It makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. What McGill did at the driver deposit at Winterbanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Anyway, after that, he let me go. So I left it before the coppers showed up.
Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
Good. 2 months later, we finally know. Ugh. It would appear on that night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGilded took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way. Although I don't understand why as yet.
And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilded's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited.
I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the coat died after his trial. I knew that.
So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own.
Well, why not, eh? They're only gonna be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
I'm not convinced you think.
Hmm.
Not convinced anyone here thinks.
Well, that is pretty true. The jury is pretty fickle. Miss Lestrade, it would appear that Miss Gilded was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
Eh? I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. It was probably gonna sell it. And you can't blame me for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime.
Once again, I'm not convinced you can think.
Jeez.
My lord!
The evidence your lordship requests has been located and is ready for the court's inspection, sir.
Thanks, Bobby.
Here we go. A mysterious little box, deposited by McGilded 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that it's the key piece in this far-reaching puzzle.
Which we will have to find out in the very last episode of The Great Ace Attorney.
Oh boy, my palms are all sweaty.
So thank you all so much for watching. As always, like, comment, subscribe, check links in the description, keep an eye for community posts, and as always, we'll see you back in court.